You know, we've done twins, we've done single, we've done nitrous, we've done NA. That last time the tracker was out in 22 for a sick week was a blower combination. You know, and I was like, oh, let's go like monster truck style,
yeah,
roots of blower style.
671, 871?
671.
671. That's my band. And I'd like to introduce you to my friend Vinny. Vinny does Drag Week, and you've done a lot of stuff. Vinny, you want to introduce yourself to our fans here?
My name is Vinny Barbone. I'm the proud owner of Project Samsquanch over here, the 1995 Geo Tracker that has, due to you people, have taken over the internet several different times over the years.
Yeah.
And I think we're on route to do the exact same thing here again with Summit.
All right. What was your first year of Drag Week?
The first year I started with the Drag Week stuff is 2016.
Okay, and you've done some Discovery Channel stuff too.
Yes, I work for Discovery Channel doing a show called Fat and Furious.
Yeah.
I helped find locations and cars, and then that ended up becoming me actually being on the show for an episode where we built another car.
Okay, and you're working with Steve McBride right now?
Yes, me and Steve McBride from McBride Racing Technologies have hooked up with each other and Summit to bring this next crazy journey of the Samsquanch's life.
It seems like there are camps. There are supercharger camps, and there are turbo guys, and there are nitrous guys, and there's all motor guys. And you have done all of those, and you've gone back and forth. All right, so what's up with that?
You know, like most people out there, I'm on a budget. And I just like to experiment and learn things. It's just like the drag and drive stuff. The reason I got into it is because I love not only racing, but traveling the country and meeting people and hanging out, and the real core essence of what drag racing and motorsports in general are. I mean, I've done dirt track racing, drag racing, drifting. I ran a monster truck for a friend of mine for a little while. I've done everything, and I really enjoy just learning all kinds of new aspects of it. So when it comes down to like combinations, I want to learn it all. I like learning. So, you know, we've done twins, we've done single, we've done nitrous, we've done NA. That last time the tracker was out in 22 for a sick week was a blower combination. You know, and I was like, oh, let's go like monster truck style, roots of blower style.
671, 871?
671.
671. That's my band. You know, just awesome. All right, so I guess we got to take a tour of the truck because it's changed so often. He's got a bunch of new stuff here this year, so let's just go ahead and check it out. All right, so we're here at the back of the truck, and I'm noticing, like, you really can't help but notice a pretty big addition for this year. You want to tell us about the plan?
Yeah, so put this together with one of your guys' employees, actually, Mike Kostick. But what we did was we've modified it so this way it doesn't do as much downforce as most people are probably thinking, because we don't want to pull those Nick Pluniak 8th mile wheelies and stuff like that. So it's more of a visual thing because of the whole, hey, I dare you to put a wing on your car thing that Mike Kostick put together for us. But it's going to be fun, and it's going to be useful for if we do decide that we need it.
Right.
But yeah.
And you got adjustability built into it. You know, it's weird to think that anything could distract from the two turbos that you got on this thing and the Ferrari tips that you got on it. I mean, tell us a little bit more about the turbos that you picked for this thing.
So what we did was we went with a 2600 series that you guys offer and an 82 AFR. So with the smaller AFR, we should be able to build boost a lot quicker. And the Ferrari exhaust was, what else can we throw on this thing to just make the crowd happy?
Shoot flames,
Let's
man.
shoot flames and make it visible for everybody to see.
So I'm looking here, and you know, a lot of people worry about, you know, the length of piping and keeping the pipe hot and everything when you go rear mount turbo. But it is nice to have weight over the back, and because, you know, you're trying to keep your stuff alive, you know, getting heat out of the engine bay is a pretty nice thing that you don't have to worry about that. When you're traveling down the road, you're not going to be roasting, you know, because you got all the heat going on back here for the most part. You want to take us on a tour to show us the routing of the pipe, really kind of starting at the engine back, and then really what Steve's done to go forward from there?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's take you on that little adventure.
Awesome. All right, so we're going to start back with the turbos here. We talked about the hot side a little bit, and you're running the charge pipe right up through the center of the car. We've got aluminum, we've got 2.5 going into the merge, and then you go from 2.5 into 3. Do you know about how much piping you have going through the cabin there?
I'd say at least 5 foot of piping. So we go from headers and then we go down to a merge pipe that Summit makes. That was really, really nice. It welded up real nice to it, and you'll see that later. And then that travels all the way up, comes through the cabin right over here on the back side of the firewall and right to the turbos.
So you never run this thing with a rear window, huh?
No, I've always just ran the netting, but what we've decided to do is get with another company, Optic Armor, which it's actually going to come from you guys at Summit. And
they do a great job.
We're going to do a rear window. So just in case something happens with the turbos, God forbid, everybody involved is safe. Plus, it's a new place to put stickers.
So tell us about the transmission while we're at it. Is that a Pro Ratchet?
Yep.
Dude, that's old school, dude.
Oh, yeah.
That's excellent.
Yep, B&M Pro Ratchet. Linked up to a turbo 350 Rossler transmission.
Yep. Can you tell us what it weighs?
As of the last combination, which was a 355 with a 671 blower, it weighed 2,600 without me in it.
And so even with an open converter, really no issue going down the road?
No. We've got a really good converter guy who's always been in our corner. It's another local guy to us out here in Ohio, Bubba Rafferty, the 501.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
So he's always taken care of us and done great things with us, and we're our own unique little hub. We're like the California of non-Californias.
The California of non-Californias. I like that. I'm gonna have to run with that. All right, cool. Well, let's keep going. All right, so we're now at the front end of the tracker, and I'm seeing something I dearly love, which is an old school small block Chevy. You want to tell us about this engine?
Yeah. So this is the 6th or 7th iteration of motors in this thing now, because it's like everybody's test mule. But it's always been Gen 1 small block. We've wanted to keep it that way for years. When I first got into the drag and drive stuff, the first thing I learned after all the years of watching it and reading the articles and magazines is being able to find parts on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Your local parts places. So that's where we went. I went with small block. It's something I've known my entire life. I've been, Chevy guy. It's easy parts to get. They're cheap, readily available almost anywhere. And we're sticking with that combination as of right now. Still staying small block Chevy no matter what. This particular motor I built in high school as my senior project. So this motor's been around with me since 2005. It is a 408 small block, 2-bolt main, Ohio crankshaft, Mal rods, JE pistons, AFR 210s or 215s, I can't remember. And we're going to go with a blow-through carburetor setup.
So what's the goal in terms of power with this thing, do you think?
My guess is probably motor-wise, it probably makes 450 to 500 the way it sits.
Okay.
My guess and Steve's guess is we're probably going to be right around the 700 to 800 range at 7 pounds of boost.
Okay.
And I'm thinking 9s. Steve is the carburetor whisperer guy, so he thinks like 8s.
Okay.
And if that's true, then we could be on the path to set another new world record for a Geo Tracker.
Okay, game on.
Game on. I'm good for anything.
All right, everybody, thank you for hanging out today. And you've got a lot of people that have helped you, people in the background, Steve and your wife. I mean, who else do you want to say thanks to?
I've had a lot of great people support me over all the years, and I couldn't do it enough without them. I've been very blessed over all these years. I got Steve with me right now, my family, Alexa, my kids, my dad, my mom. But I've also had a lot of local companies help me over all these years. Be Cool Radiators is just up in Michigan. They've taken care of me for years, and I really appreciate Justin and Fred over there. Dennis Chamito over at Chassis Fab. If it wasn't for him, 2016, 2017, when we were building this thing, it would have never happened. So he was always behind me on that. Like I said, Steve is with me now, and we're doing some crazy things. And if it wasn't for Summit coming on board and helping us, who knows how long the old Samsquanch would have sat around.
So with that and more cool content to see what he's up to this year in 2025, be sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell, all the fun stuff, and thanks for watching.